Facts with schoolers. Why does the weather change? Weather changes every day. There are days when the weather is clear and those when it's rainy. Why doesn't weather remain constant? The answer lies far out in space. Changes in weather are caused because air is warmed by the sun. Let's start by taking a look at what the sun does. The sun burns and burns to give out light and heat. The light and heat reaches on the earth. The sun is a ball of fire that burns with atomic nuclear fusion. Its surface temperature is about 6000 degrees Celsius. The air near the equator is the warmest since it gets heat almost directly from the sun. The sun is further away from the north and the south poles, making them colder. The amount of heat received from the sun is not the same everywhere. These differences in temperature cause the weather to change. The hot air at the equator and the cold air at the poles mix and air begins to move. So in a warm place, when air heats up, it becomes lighter and rises upwards. Opposite to this, in a cold place when air cools, it becomes denser and moves down. Seasons in the northern and southern hemispheres differ. This too is largely due to the flow of air. The seasons in the two hemispheres are directly opposite to each other. When air flows, it creates high pressure and low pressure. When air pressure is high, air is heavy, so the air moves down to the ground. This kind of air flow is called an area of high pressure. In a high pressure area, water vapor sinks before it can form clouds, so the weather is sunny. When air pressure is low, air is light, so the air on the ground rises up. This kind of airflow is called an area of low pressure. In a low pressure area, water vapor rises to form clouds and there is rain. This is how high air pressure and low air pressure are created. Changes in weather are caused due to the shifts in low air pressure and high air pressure. Air keeps circulating between land and the skies. This movement causes the transfer of low air pressure and high air pressure. It cools in the skies and falls to the earth. Since our earth's surface is uneven, the weather direction keeps changing. There are different winds in different parts of the world. In areas between the equator and the poles, the winds blow from the west to the east. These are the westerlies. Due to the earth's rotation, the winds blow from the east to the west around the equator. These are trade winds. Long ago, people used the trade winds to sail around the world. Within the westerlies, 10 kilometers above the ground, there are bands of very strong winds known as jet streams. These winds can reach speeds of 400 kilometers per hour. Heat is exchanged between the warm air around the equator and the cold air around the poles. This is how the three major winds are formed. So there are many types of winds that blow depending on the area, and this is why the weather changes too. Did you know? The moon does not have any weather.